This is a fascinating topic, and I can certainly expand on it to reach the 30-minute mark. I'll weave in more detailed examples, psychological insights, and philosophical considerations for each point, building on the initial structure. I'll also maintain the spicy tone and engaging language. Here is the expanded script. Have you ever wondered why a certain person never truly leaves your mind? No texts, no calls, no presence in your life. And yet somehow they live in your thoughts rent-free. You wake up and they're there. You go through your day and they appear again, like a whisper in your mind you can't silence. It's strange, isn't it? How someone who's long gone still feels closer than the people standing beside you. You tell yourself you've moved on, but deep down their energy lingers, and like a shadow your heart refuses to let fade. Maybe it's not coincidence. Maybe it's something deeper, something the mind cannot fully explain but the soul can feel. Because when someone constantly appears in your thoughts without a single word spoken, it often means your connection has crossed the boundaries of ordinary logic. It's not about missing them. It's about an imprint, emotional, energetic, spiritual, that your brain keeps revisiting because a part of you knows the story isn't complete yet. What if this constant presence isn't just memory, but a form of communication beyond words? What if the silence between you is louder than any conversation you've ever had? Today we'll uncover the real psychology behind why someone stays in your mind long after they're gone, the hidden emotional codes, the subconscious attachments, and the invisible bonds that refuse to fade. Because when the universe keeps replaying someone in your thoughts, it's not random. It's a message. One your heart is finally ready to understand. This isn't just about lingering memories. It's about a ghost in your mental machine, a phantom limb of your emotional past, and it's far more potent than you realize. Here's why some people haunt your thoughts long after they've left your life. First, the unfinished symphony of the soul. Imagine a magnificent, sweeping symphony, building to an incredible crescendo, only for the music to abruptly cut out mid-note. Your brain, your very being, craves completion. It yearns for the resolution of that melody. This is precisely what happens with unresolved emotional experiences, especially those tied to significant relationships. If a connection ended without true closure, a sudden departure, words left unsaid, feelings never fully articulated, or a misunderstanding that was never cleared, your mind becomes a relentless broken record. It plays snippets of that past relationship over and over again, dissecting every moment, every interaction, searching for the missing piece. Think about it. Have you ever replayed a conversation in your head 1,000 times, thinking of all the things you should have said or could have done? That's your brain actively trying to find the final chord in a symphony that was tragically cut short. This isn't necessarily about the other person. It's about your internal system. Your subconscious fiercely advocating for emotional peace. It believes that if it can just solve this puzzle, finally articulate that missing word, or understand that lingering glance, then the loop will stop. The silence separating you from them only amplifies this internal clamor, making the unsaid even louder in your mind. It's your soul demanding resolution, a psychological loose end that refuses to be neatly tucked away. This isn't a sign of weakness. It's a profound aspect of human psychology. Our innate need for narrative coherence and emotional closure. The more abrupt the ending, the more powerful this internal replay becomes, consuming your mental energy as you desperately seek a sense of finality that was denied to you in reality. Second, the echo of emotional impact. Every significant person who enters your life, whether for a fleeting moment or a lifetime, leaves an energetic fingerprint on your soul. These aren't just dry, factual memories stored in a mental filing cabinet. They are vibrant, resonant emotional residues, like a potent scent that lingers in a room long after the person has left. The more intense the emotions involved, the incandescent joy, the searing passion, the profound love, the crushing pain, the bewildering anger, the perplexing confusion, the deeper and more indelible this imprint becomes. Your brain, being an incredibly complex bioreactor, doesn't just recall facts. It actively revisits the powerful neurochemical cocktail these emotions once created within you. It's a physiological response as much as a psychological one. You're not just thinking of them. You're feeling a ghost of the emotions they once evoked. This phenomenon explains why even toxic or intensely painful connections can be excruciatingly hard to shake. The sheer intensity of the emotional drama, The highs and lows, the conflicts and reconciliations, creates a powerful, almost addictive loop in your mind. Your brain, perhaps in a misguided attempt to process or understand, compels you to revisit the source of that intense feeling, even if the experience was ultimately destructive. It's like a deep scar that still aches in certain weather, a phantom pain from a wound that has technically healed but left a permanent mark. The person becomes a trigger for these potent emotional states, and your mind keeps seeking out that trigger, not necessarily for joy, but for the visceral experience itself. It's a testament to how deeply our brains are wired to process and remember emotional intensity, regardless of its positive or negative valence. This echo is a constant reminder of the profound way another human being altered your internal landscape, leaving an undeniable and often beautiful, sometimes painful mark. Third, subtle energetic tethers, the invisible thread. Let's move beyond the conventional. Forget the mundane communication methods like texts, calls, or emails. Sometimes the most profound and persistent communication happens beyond the realm of our five senses. Have you ever experienced that uncanny moment when you think intensely about someone you haven't spoken to in ages, only for them to reach out within minutes or hours? Or perhaps you've felt an inexplicable shift in energy, a sudden sadness or warmth, only to later learn that something significant, a major life event, a challenge or a triumph happened in their life, even though you had no logical way of knowing. This is not mere coincidence. It's the whisper of an energetic tether, a subtle, invisible connection that defies rational explanation. When two souls connect on a truly deep level, whether through a passionate romance, an unbreakable friendship, or profound familial ties, an invisible thread forms between them. Your mind, incredibly intricate and highly attuned, might be picking up on their energy, their current emotional state, or even subtle intentions they are unconsciously projecting into the ether. This isn't necessarily hocus pocus or new age fantasy. It's a recognition that we are all energetic beings, constantly emitting and receiving subtle vibrations. Your constant thoughts could be your subconscious antennae picking up signals that your conscious mind can't quite decipher, translating them into the persistent image or feeling of that person. It means the connection, though physically severed, is still alive and vibrating on a different frequency, operating outside the confines of space and time. The silence separating you in the physical world is merely a veil, hiding a continuous, albeit subtle, exchange of energetic information. This invisible thread is a powerful testament to the idea that some bonds truly transcend physical presence, making that person a constant ethereal presence in your mental landscape. Fourth, the unconscious mirror, reflecting your own desires. This one is often the bitterest pill to swallow because it forces a stark confrontation with self. Sometimes the person who relentlessly occupies your thoughts isn't a sign that they are thinking of you, but rather a profound, often uncomfortable, mirror reflecting what you need, what you crave, or what you are actively avoiding within yourself. Are you longing for a certain type of connection that you haven't found since them? Do you miss a specific version of yourself that existed only when you were with them? A more confident, adventurous, or loved self? Is there an old wound they perhaps exposed or created that you haven't fully acknowledged or healed? In these instances, the individual becomes a potent symbol, a projection. Their face becomes the unwitting canvas onto which you project your own unfulfilled desires, your lingering unresolved pain, or your unacknowledged needs. Your mind isn't necessarily calling out to them. It's calling out to you, using their image as a powerful stand-in for a deeper, more urgent internal conversation you need to have with yourself. It's a brutal, yet essential self-assessment, reminding you precisely where your heart is truly hurting, what it truly craves, or what unaddressed emotional baggage you might still be carrying. This phenomenon highlights that our internal landscape often dictates our external focus, and sometimes the other is merely a catalyst for profound self-discovery. The thoughts aren't a message from them. They're a vital message for you, disguised in a familiar face. Fifth, karmic echoes and soul contracts, a story beyond this life. For those who believe in something more profound than mere coincidence, this explanation can resonate deeply. What if this persistent, almost obsessive thought isn't just a psychological quirk, but a sign of a deeper, preordained spiritual pact? Some connections, it is believed, are not bound by linear time or confined to a single lifetime. You might be experiencing a soul contract, an agreement made on a deeper spiritual level to meet, learn, grow, or complete something significant together in this incarnation. Or perhaps these recurring thoughts are karmic echoes, unresolved business, lessons unlearned or balances untended from past connections that your soul is now trying to reconcile in this lifetime. The person appearing in your mind, unbidden and relentless, could be your soul's urgent, insistent reminder that there's an unseen, sacred thread connecting you, a lesson yet to be learned, a perspective yet to be gained, or an energetic balance yet to be restored. It's like a spiritual GPS, guiding you to a truth that transcends mundane, everyday explanations. They aren't just a person. They might be a spiritual assignment, a catalyst sent to propel your soul's evolution. This perspective suggests that the sheer persistence of their image in your mind is a divine or karmic nudge, urging you to look beyond the surface and consider the deeper, more profound purpose behind their undeniable imprint on your consciousness. It suggests that your journey with them, though silent now, is far from over in the grand tapestry of existence. Sixth, the brain's obsessive loop. When thoughts become sticky. Beyond the romantic or spiritual, there's a purely neurological explanation. Your brain is an incredibly powerful pattern-matching problem-solving machine. When you focus intensely on someone, especially when there's a significant element of mystery, ambiguity, or unresolved emotion surrounding their departure or the end of the connection, your brain can quite literally get stuck in a loop. It's akin to a software bug or a glitch in your internal programming, continually processing the same data, seeking a resolution it can't find. The less external information you have about them, no calls, no texts, no updates from mutual friends, the more desperately your brain tries to fill in the gaps. It starts creating hypothetical scenarios, replaying past conversations, analyzing every tiny detail of their last interaction, trying to construct a coherent narrative. This isn't always about deep meaning. Sometimes it's simply your brain's frantic attempt to solve a puzzle it perceives as incomplete. The absence of concrete communication ironically fuels this obsession, because your brain fundamentally detests uncertainty. It will chew on that person's image, their words, their perceived intentions, until it feels it has sufficient data, or until you consciously and consistently break the cycle. This can be a deeply frustrating and exhausting experience, feeling like your own mind is betraying you, constantly returning to a source of pain or unfulfilled longing. It's a reminder that sometimes the persistence of a thought is a neurological habit, not a profound message. Seventh, the universe's nudge, a catalyst for self-reflection. Consider this intriguing perspective. What if these recurring thoughts aren't about the other person at all, but rather a sophisticated, persistent mechanism for what you need to learn about yourself? The universe, or life, has an incredibly subtle yet profound way of bringing messengers into our lives. Sometimes these messengers appear in person, but often they manifest through their persistent absence in our thoughts, forcing an internal reckoning. This person, or rather their lingering image, might be a catalyst for you to develop profound resilience, to practice radical self-love in their absence, to confront your deep-seated attachment styles, or to completely redefine what connection, love, and self-worth truly mean to you. Their memory becomes a silent training ground for your emotional maturity. Until you extract the hidden lesson embedded within their departure or the nature of your connection, until you evolve past the patterns or triggers they represent, your mind will keep bringing them back. They become an insistent, silent teacher, demanding your attention, forcing you to look inward. It's a cosmic blackboard, and their face is the chalk, pointing to areas within you that require growth, healing, or profound transformation. This perspective shifts the focus entirely from the absent person to your own internal landscape, empowering you to use even painful memories as fuel for personal evolution. Eighth, the magnetic pull of unspoken desires, manifesting energy. For those who believe in the power of conscious thought and energetic intention, this reason is particularly compelling. The law of attraction, a philosophical principle embraced by many, suggests that what you focus on, you draw towards you. When someone is relentlessly, persistently on your mind, you are, whether consciously aware of it or not, directing an immense amount of energetic focus towards them. This isn't a guaranteed spell that will make them materialize on your doorstep, but it does create an energetic pathway, a subtle but undeniable vibrational connection. This strong, Magnetic pull of focused thought can manifest in uncanny, often surprising ways. It might be through a seemingly random chance encounter, a mutual friend suddenly mentioning their name, an unexpected message appearing, or even their vivid and frequent appearance in your dreams. Your persistent thoughts are not passive. They are an active, albeit silent form of communication, sending out ripples into the energetic fabric of the universe. If you subscribe to the belief in the power of intention, then your thoughts are not just fleeting mental events. They are potent manifestation tools, capable of influencing subtle energies and potentially creating synchronicities in your life. This reason suggests that the depth of your thought isn't just internal. It's a broadcast and the universe might just be listening. Ninth, the power of trauma bonding and intermittent reinforcement. Let's get a little darker and more psychologically complex. Sometimes constant thoughts aren't about profound connection, but about the sticky, insidious nature of trauma bonding or the powerful hold of intermittent reinforcement. If the relationship with this person involved cycles of intense highs and devastating lows, periods of love bombing followed by withdrawal, or general unpredictability in their affection or presence, your brain can get hooked. This creates a powerful, almost addictive loop where your mind constantly seeks the reward, their affection, their presence that was intermittently provided, making it incredibly hard to detach. This pattern, often seen in emotionally volatile or even abusive relationships, leaves a deep imprint. Your brain becomes hypervigilant, constantly scanning, constantly thinking about them, trying to predict their next move or understand the unpredictable dynamic. This isn't love. It's a survival mechanism gone awry, a constant mental effort to solve a riddle that shouldn't exist. The silence in this context isn't peaceful. It's terrifying, as your brain anticipates the next high or tries to make sense of the past lows. Recognizing this dynamic is crucial for true liberation from the mental prison these thoughts can create. 10th, the cultural narrative, why we glorify unrequited thought. Finally, let's consider the powerful influence of cultural narratives. From ancient poetry to modern pop songs, we are constantly bombarded with stories that glorify obsessive love, unrequited longing, and the idea that if someone is always on your mind, it must mean something profound and romantic. This cultural conditioning deeply shapes how we interpret our own thoughts and emotions. We are taught to look for signs, to believe in meant-to-be connections that transcend logic. This narrative can make it incredibly difficult to simply let go or to view persistent thoughts as anything other than a grand cosmic sign. It instills a sense of hope, even when hope is detrimental and can prevent us from moving forward. Sometimes the persistence of a thought isn't just personal. It's also a reflection of the stories we've internalized about love, loss, and destiny. Recognizing this external influence can be liberating, allowing you to reclaim your thoughts from a narrative that might not serve your highest good. So, what do you do when someone has set up permanent residence in your head, rent-free even in the deafening silence? This is where you reclaim your power. First, embrace, don't evict. Trying to forcibly remove someone from your thoughts is like trying to stop a powerful ocean wave by pushing against it. It only gains more force and energy. Instead, when the thought arises, acknowledge it. Okay, there they are again. Don't judge it, don't get angry, don't spiral into self-recrimination. Just observe it like watching a cloud pass in the sky. This simple act of acceptance, of releasing resistance, often subtly lessens its powerful grip. You're not validating the thought as truth. You're just acknowledging its presence, allowing it to move through you rather than getting stuck. Second, journal your soul out. The unfiltered confession. Grab a pen and paper. No screens for this raw honesty. Write every single thought, feeling, question, frustration, and fantasy related to this person. Don't filter, don't censor, don't worry about grammar or coherence. Just let it flow like a torrent. Scream on paper if you need to. Explore all the what-ifs, the angers, the sadness, the lingering hopes. This act of externalizing your internal monologue, putting the swirling chaos of your mind onto physical paper, can provide immense clarity and, surprisingly, a profound sense of release. It helps your brain process the unfinished symphony by giving it a tangible form, allowing you to finally look at the puzzle pieces from an external vantage point. Third, shift the focus, the ultimate power move. Instead of endlessly asking, why are they still in my head? Pivot the question to, what is this feeling teaching me about myself? Is it revealing a deep-seated loneliness, a longing for a specific quality you felt they possessed? A fear of abandonment? An unhealed wound? Once you identify the underlying emotion or unmet need, you can address it directly within yourself, rather than continuing to project it onto the absent person. Use their memory, not as an anchor to the past, but as a springboard for your own growth. This is about reclaiming the energy you've invested and redirecting it inward, transforming a passive obsession into active self-discovery. Fourth, reclaim your mental real estate. Visualize your mind as a sacred, precious space, your inner sanctuary. If someone is living there rent-free, it's time to set healthy boundaries. This doesn't mean you must erase them from your memory entirely, but it does mean consciously deciding how much mental and emotional energy you are willing to allocate to them. You can create designated visiting hours for those thoughts, allowing them space for a brief period, and then, with intention, gently but firmly redirect your focus elsewhere. Engage in absorbing hobbies. Connect deeply with present people in your life. Immerse yourself in nature, learn a new skill. Actively fill your mental space with you, with your present life, with growth, joy, and purpose. This isn't avoidance. It's conscious curation of your internal world. Fifth, set an energetic boundary, even if they're not there. You can do this through a visualization or a simple ritual. Imagine a protective energetic shield around yourself. Picture yourself cutting any cords of attachment, not with malice, but with firm intention, stating aloud or in your mind, "I release this energy back to you, and I reclaim my own." This isn't about being angry or forgetting. It's about declaring your energetic sovereignty and consciously disentangling your energy from theirs, allowing both of you to move forward unencumbered by an unspoken, unacknowledged bond. Sixth, trust the process, not the outcome. You cannot control another person's actions, their thoughts, or whether they will ever return. You can't even fully control the initial appearance of a thought. What you can control is your reaction to those thoughts, your interpretation of them, and your deliberate journey towards inner peace and liberation. Trust that if the connection is truly meant to evolve or reignite, it will do so in divine timing, without your obsessive mental effort. If it's meant to fade into a gentle memory, it will, once you've learned what you needed to learn and integrated the lessons. Surrender the desperate need for a specific outcome and instead, focus all your energy on your own healing, your own growth, and creating a vibrant present for yourself. The universe responds to alignment, not just longing. When someone remains vividly in your mind, despite the profound silence between you, it is not a curse. It's not necessarily a sign of a destined reunion. It is more profoundly a testament to your immense capacity for deep connection, your intricate emotional landscape, and perhaps a hidden narrative within your own soul waiting to unfold. Embrace the mystery of these persistent thoughts. Listen to the silent messages they convey about you, and understand that even in absence, there can be a powerful, transformative presence. These lingering thoughts are not merely ghosts. They are potent echoes asking you to listen closer, to feel deeper, and to finally understand the profound story of your own heart. They are an invitation to delve into the depths of your own psychology and spirituality. If you've ever felt this intense, unspoken connection, this phantom limb of the heart, share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think is the real reason someone stays in your mind? And for more deep dives into the secret language of the human mind and heart, into the mysteries of psychology and the spiritual tapestry that connects us all, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next revelation.